As I approached my 40th birthday a few years ago, I spent a lot of time thinking about my body and how I wasn't happy with it. I'd been trying for years to get into the body positivity movement, which is the assertion that all bodies are good bodies, regardless of cultural ideas surrounding what makes a good body. But I have to admit, I still saw flaws even when I didn't want to. I remember thinking to myself, you've spent 20 plus years hating your body. When is it going to stop? By that, I meant, when am I going to change my body into something that I will approve of? Then I turned 40, and then about 2 weeks later, COVID hit. And we all know what happened to most of our waistlines and other goals for self-improvement. Didn't really work out. Last summer, I was talking to a friend about her 90-ish-year-old grandmother, and she was saying her grandmother still avoided being in photos because she didn't like her appearance. I asked my friend, when does it end? And then I had a different conversation with myself about my body, which echoed many of the same words I said a year or so earlier. You've spent 20 plus years hating your body. When is it going to stop? This time though, I wasn't looking for my body to change, but I was looking to change my mindset. How long am I gonna feel bad about the way I look? Am I gonna be 90 years old and still wishing that it was different? I wonder if any of you have been struggling with your own long-standing negative self-perceptions. Maybe it's not about the way you look, but maybe about some other trait of yours. Maybe you get down on yourself for being shy or not being quiet enough in certain moments. That's me. Or maybe you wish you had more patience for your children or other loved ones. And my question today is, when does it stop? And are we limiting ourselves by focusing on areas we want to improve rather than leaning into the parts of ourselves that make us distinctive? Is this negative self-talk keeping us from seeing our whole and authentic selves? Perhaps trying to live into an ideal of who or what you want to be prevents you from discovering the parts of yourself that, when fully nurtured, could do the most good in the world, or provide the full dimensions of your love and companionship for family and friends. Jack Kornfield writes, if we fully acknowledged our dignity, it could lead to radical life changes. It could ask something huge of us. Each of us needs to find our way to be whole and free. I often wonder what it would be like if we could see ourselves the way our friends or families do. I doubt they'd be as hard on us as we are. I think they'd be surprised to hear, I think we would be surprised to hear how much they actually love our braying laugh, or our tendency to yell at other drivers, or maybe our over-the-top excitement at the latest Marvel release. And they probably don't think our haircut is that bad either. I think about all the times I've picked apart my body or been down on myself in some way for the way I behaved at a particular event. And I talked to a close friend about it afterwards, who responded with shock because they never noticed any of that. I would imagine many of you have been in the same situation. Is it even possible to look at ourselves with the same amount of grace that our loved ones do? One of my favorite passages is from Thomas Merton's Conjectures of a Guilty Bystander. He was standing on the corner of 4th and Walnut in Louisville, Kentucky, when he had this major revelation that he loved all of the people walking by him, and he felt an intense connection to them. He writes, "Then it was as if I suddenly saw the secret beauty of their hearts, the depths of their hearts, where neither sin, nor desire, nor self-knowledge can reach, the core of their reality, the person that each one is in God's eyes. If only they could all see themselves as they really are, If only we could see each other that way all the time. Wouldn't it be remarkable if we could be brave enough to look at the heart of who we are and say, I see you, I see what you've been through, I see where you're going, and I see where you're trying to go, and that's enough. Diane Ackerman wrote, I don't want to get to the end of my life and find that I have just lived the length of it. I want to have lived the width of it as well. And I feel like we're holding ourselves back from living that full breadth and width of our lives when we spend a lot of our time agonizing over all the ways we believe we don't measure up to these idealized visions of ourselves that we really wish we could change. Perhaps if we take the time to reckon with those parts of ourselves, not the idealized version of what we hope we could be, we'll find new inroads into understanding who we actually are and why we make the decisions we do. I'm not saying this would be easy. We all have a lifetime of marketing and societal pressure and personal expectations to unpack. And it can be sometimes easy to hide your head in the sand or avoid seeing issues that are maybe there. But I also hope it's possible to take some time to really look at ourselves. Maybe you're quicker to anger than you would like. Maybe you, like me, often regret talking too much and wish you would have let other people have a chance to talk more when you're gathered with friends. And perhaps, like many of us, you wish you worked out more and could fit in those jeans that have been sitting in the back of your closet for the past few years. But what if you looked directly at those parts of yourselves and you said, you know what? That's okay. I'm not going to be perfect, but I am going to give myself a break. And maybe, just maybe, we might consider that our bodies, our personalities, all the things we wish we could change about ourselves might actually be who and what we need to be. As Adrienne Marie Brown said in the reading from earlier today, but what if this is the ideal body after all? When my son cuddles up to me at night, I'm often struck by the fact that my body is exactly what it needs to be for him, comfortable and soft. And when I think once again about how quick to anger I can be and wishing I had more patience, I also remember that this anger is what has fueled me to get involved in community organizing and work for change in my community. In the short time that I've gotten to know many of you, I have developed great affection for you and your kindness and warmth in particular. But I also love all the particularities that make you who you are. I personally love hearing about all the discrete passions we all have. And though some people may look askance at your deep dives into sumo wrestling or making aspects, those are made up examples, by the way, I love it, and I love learning about it. Ram Dass has said, when you go out to the woods and you look at the trees, you see all these different trees. Some of them are bent, and some of them are straight, and some of them are evergreens, and some of them are whatever. And you look at the tree and you allow it. You appreciate it. You see why it is the way it is. You sort of understand that it didn't get enough light, so it turned that way. You don't get all emotional about it. You just allow it. You appreciate the tree. What if we did that for ourselves? What if we truly took stock of our lives and who we are, not the person we imagined in our mind's eye, or the story we tell ourselves about who we are? So maybe we're not as organized or as fun-loving as we like to think. And we saw that this person is just as remarkable as the person we want to be. This is the person that was created through a lifetime of challenges, who was asked to bend but did not break. Maybe we can finally see that maybe, just maybe, this person is who we need to be, and that is enough. Blessed be.